We've all been taught the same thing, right? To get what you want, you just have to push harder. You gotta hustle, grind, and basically force it into existence with sheer willpower. But what if that's not just exhausting, but actually completely backwards? And that question right there is at the heart of this incredible paradox. We're going to dive into why that huge amount of energy you're putting into forcing your desire to happen might be the very thing that's keeping it at a distance. You know, if this sounds familiar, you are absolutely not alone. So many of us are doing all the things. We're affirming, we're visualizing, but we just end up with this deep spiritual fatigue. And somehow the goal just seems to slip further and further away. It's this crazy paradox. The tighter you try to grip it, the more it seems to escape. So let's break this down. What's actually happening here? We'll call it the effort trap. And at its core, it's this war going on inside of you. A war between your conscious effort, your will, and what your subconscious mind, your imagination, truly believes. And guess what? In that fight, your imagination wins every single time. This cork metaphor just explains it perfectly. Think about it. That feeling of lack, that deep down belief that you don't have what you want, well, that's the cork. All your frantic effort is the force pushing it down. But all that does is constantly remind you of how buoyant it is, how real that feeling of lack is in your world. The more you fight it, the stronger it feels. And this is the absolute key. The very act of forcing sends out a very specific vibe, a specific energy. It's an energy of need, of anxiety, of impatience. I mean, think about it. If you truly felt like the person who already had your desire, would you be struggling so hard to get it? No way. You'd feel this quiet confidence, a natural sense of peace. The effort itself is an admission that you're not in the state of the wish fulfilled. Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. It all leads to what we can call the quantum contradiction. The universe, the quantum field, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't speak English. It speaks the language of energy. It doesn't listen to your words. It responds to the signal you are consistently broadcasting. And this right here is the whole game. Quantum coherence. See, you can say I am wealthy 1,000 times a day, but if your heart is clenched with a feeling of scarcity and your whole body is tense with stress, the field reads that entire chaotic signal. It doesn't just pick out the positive words. It responds to the dominant frequency, which, when you're forcing things, is always the frequency of lack. I mean, just look at the difference here. On one side, you have forcing. That's a signal of mistrust. Every time you anxiously check for results, refreshing your email or your bank account, obsessing over whether they'll text back, you're basically screaming, it's not here yet. But on the other side, you have allowing. That's a state of trust. It's this quiet, clear, coherent signal of, it is already done, and it comes from a place of peace and fulfillment. Now, here's something that so many of us get tripped up on: waiting. It's not passive. It's not something you just do while things are happening. Waiting is an active creation. Every single moment you spend wondering how much longer, you are actively embodying the state of not yet. And because consciousness is always faithful, it just gives you more of what you are being, more waiting. So if forcing and waiting are the traps, what's the solution? This brings us to the beautiful art of allowing. This is a huge shift. It's about moving away from that frantic energy of trying to get something and stepping into the calm, magnetic state of simply being the person who already has it. This quote, wow, it just paints the perfect picture, doesn't it? The frantic hunter is always chasing, always burning energy, and often comes back empty-handed. But the fragrant flower, it just is. It embodies its own nature so completely that it doesn't need to chase anything. It just effortlessly attracts. That is the feeling of allowing. You stop chasing and you start attracting. Now, it's super important to be clear about this. This is not about just sitting on your couch and doing nothing. It's about ending the war inside yourself. Neville Goddard called it entering the Sabbath, which is just a psychological state of rest. And why do you rest? Because the work is finished. You rest in the calm, absolute certainty that what you've claimed in your imagination is already a done deal. So what does this state of allowing actually feel like in real life? Well, it's like being a farmer who plants a seed and just trusts the process. He's not going to dig it up every day to see if it's growing, right? It's like that calm feeling you have after ordering at a restaurant. You just know the food is on its way. It's as natural as knowing the sun's going to rise tomorrow. It's this quiet, powerful assurance, totally free from doubt and worry. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do this? How do we go from forcing to allowing in our day-to-day lives? Let's break down a simple, really practical way to start embodying this new state. All right, here's a practice you can literally start today. First, shift your focus. Stop chasing the thing and instead ask yourself this powerful question. Who would I be if I already had it? Second, practice feeling fulfilled right now. The easiest way is through gratitude. Find things to be genuinely grateful for. This literally trains your body what it feels like to have. And third, create a short little imaginal scene, your mental sanctuary that implies it's all done. Maybe it's feeling a wedding ring on your finger or hearing someone say congratulations. When doubt pops up, you don't fight it, you just gently retreat to your scene for a moment. And this, right here, this is the real work. Your current reality, it's just an echo of your past beliefs, your past states. And an echo, by its very nature, is already behind you. You don't argue with an echo. Your only job is to remain faithful to the new state you've chosen until that old echo finally fades away and the new reality shows up. So, I want to leave you with a question, and I really want you to sit with this for a second. Where in your life are you gripping the steering wheel so tightly, with white knuckles? Where are you trying so hard that you've accidentally become the very resistance you're trying to push against? If any of this resonated with you, and you recognize that pattern of forcing in your own life, I invite you to make a little declaration to yourself right now. Just go to the comments below and type, "I release." And hey, if you know someone who's stuck in this same trap, share this with them. For more daily recalibrations just like this, make sure you follow @ActiveAura1111. Thanks so much for tuning in.